Okay, I'm gonna walk you through drawing, I think I'm gonna call him a Chihuahua. I know as I sketched him out, it was a little bit bigger than my first original sketch, but so I'm just doing it on a 5x7 piece of watercolor paper. And again, make sure you know where your middle is, because the middle is gonna be head above the middle, body below. So I'm gonna start, this is right where the ears, and I've kind of made his ears uneven. And then I'm gonna come down towards the snout, kind of like a triangle shape. And then I'm going to exaggerate its nose. Triangles. I haven't figured if I'm gonna do, I did put permanent or ochre red on my palette if I paint the inside of the ears, but we'll see when we get there. Okay, coming off the head, oh, I got little closed eyes. So off the side, I'm gonna do his neck, and then I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna add the collar, which needs to be a curved shape, not a straight line. Just the sides of the collar, and then curve around again. I may add some detail to the collar once I get it painted. Okay, then I'm gonna continue that line. And this one's gonna go all the way down to make the first leg. Just using a small little circle-like shape for the leg. And the other leg, again, I'm not going for accuracy of dogs, and I'm just kind of making sure there's a line. Okay, so from this line, I'm gonna make the back leg like he's sitting with his bottom off the side. Big balloon shape. And then Chihuahua tails, I don't know what they look like. Maybe this is a mutt because it's kind of big. Okay, so I've got my shapes. That was a 2H that I used to draw them out. On my palette, I have yellow ochre for the fur, obviously black for the nose and the eyes, and the red is going to be his or her collar. Then again, I have fluorescent paint red. I mean, it looks like pink, I don't know, it's called opera red, to use for the inside of the ears. But again, I don't know if I'll use my colored pencils for that. So again, I'm thinking lights and darks. The head is gonna be a shade lighter than the body since it's in front, and then this leg that's in front is gonna be a shade lighter. So I'll probably use the yellow ochre, the natural color inside here, and then lighten it up with a little bit, which means I need some mixing white. Didn't think about that. On my palette, there it is. And then a little bit of that, okay. So I'm gonna speed through my painting, and then we'll talk about it once I'm done. Okay, so I did do that. One thing I did change as I was painting the front feet, I decided to paint them the yellow ochre, and then I'm going to go back over them with the lighter color just to bring them out a little bit, because and the same thing with the head, I lightened it up a little bit, but I may need to add a little bit lighter. So I'm going to let this layer dry before I add a next layer, before I do the nose and the ears. I have not figured out if I'm going to use the pink from here or the colored pencils. Okay, so I went ahead and added the pink on the ears once I let this dry and I add my details. So these are watercolor pencils, but I just like them because they're rich. So the black I'm going to be using for the eyes. One of the browns, not quite sure, walnut brown, umbra brown, burnt ochre, or Venetian. One of these shades I'm going to use to add the shading behind the face, just to separate the head from the body, the legs, and then the gray I'm going to use to add the shading of the shadows as the dog sits there, and then my white Uniball Signa I'm going to use for the highlights in the nose. So I'm gonna give this layer a dry, and then I'll add my final details with the colored pencils and pen. Okay, so I have finished drawing my little Chihuahua or mutt, however you want to look at the dog. Again, I did add a pink in here, but I realized it's too light on this gouache that I use, so the Venetian came in handy because it still has like a pinkish tint to it. I probably, if I'm gonna do this over again, I would not use the gouache in the ears. I would use the colored pencil, but I did use the browns to shade in to make the legs look a little more in the front. And then I added the little hair on it. I don't know why I like to do hair that way, but it is. And signed it, and then I added the gray to add the shadow. So I hope you share your dogs with me, any dog that you are drawing or a similar dog, and look forward to my next drawing.